according to the data I just gave you, and let's say in different neighborhoods like Mount Vernon, it's probably 65% black. But I guess I live in a spicky town. They're all landscapers. They're all our slaves. It's 50. If you were to throw them all in jail at the same rate you throw whites in jail, which they do, the jails would be completely full beyond capacity. This is why they don't enforce hate crimes on blacks in New York City, because they literally do not have the capacity. Like, they want to shut down Rikers right now, which is right off of Brooklyn, I guess. It's an island down there south of the bottom of Manhattan. They want to get rid of it. We don't have room in other jails for that many prisoners. To truly have a non-two-tier justice, to have a one-tier justice that is 100% fair, the shit stain that you just saw would be gone because it's statistically irrelevant, and the prisons would be absolutely full of blacks. And America would be known as the most racist place on earth, kind of like it was under Giuliani. They kept saying stop and frisk is unfair, blah, blah, blah. It's sort of like the traffic, the red light cameras in the Bronx. They don't have them because no one fucking pays. And if they did, the private company that does those brake cameras, well, they don't have the capacity. Like, there's authority in numbers. Black and Hispanic crime has got to the point where it's unenforceable. And we see this with Muslims in Luton. If you arrest a Muslim for doing a crime, the Muslims come to the police station and trash it and get that person out. So they just don't bring them to the jail. If they're lucky enough to get a white, they absolutely prosecute them because you get your fine paid. That's why I have this stupid ankle bracelet on. You know why they punish whites more than anyone else? Because they can. You know why my taxes are 40 grand a year? Just land tax? Because I can afford it. The government, the state, the system does everything it can do up until breaking. You don't think they want to charge 100% tax? They would. But if they did, we wouldn't pay it. And there'd be a revolution. Now you're down to 0%. Let me just give you an example of the fucking government and how stupid the left is to support Bernie Sanders. We want corporations to pay their fair share. To whom? Pimps? That's where the money goes. I agree with you that a CEO making $500 million is egregious. But it's the lesser of two evils. Capitalism has many flaws, but it cannot compare to communism. Let me show you communism. 5-0. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This guy has the audacity to build a tree fort on his parents' property. A tree fort he can live in. Not on my watch. Okay, well, I'm white, so let me follow the rules. And as Peter Brimelow always says about immigration, they punish those who follow the rules because no one else is on their radar. It's sort of like when they go, illegal aliens don't cause much crime. No, the illegal aliens that you have documented don't cause much crime. What about the undocumented cases from undocumented workers? It's your verbiage, undocumented. You don't have the documents. Go ahead.
Hey, so the government won't let me live in this treehouse that I spent the last 4 years building, and the reason is incredibly stupid. As we already established, the county said I could build a treehouse, and the county seats changed, and the new guy said, hey, no, never mind, you need a permit for that, and that turned into like a 1.5-year battle, and they didn't want to give us a permit, and when they finally did give us a permit, they said, okay, fine, you can build it, but you need to make it bigger, up to 1,200 square feet, to meet our minimum size requirements, you know, so we can tax you more. So we got the permit, and now there's a new problem. Now they say that my parents cannot build a house on the same property, which is over 100 acres, by the way, because now the treehouse is the primary residence.
Too many houses.
So we meet with the county again,
Pause.
and we're like, hey, so
can you imagine how dense it would be to have 2 buildings on 100 acres? What is this, Tokyo? A man needs to breathe. What about the poor trees? Go ahead.
The treehouse is still only 750 square feet. We have not made it
We need
bigger,
2 of those.
which means it meets your size requirements for an accessory structure, so we should still be able to build a main house over there. Nope, that's impossible. Why is that impossible? Well, because our ordinance strictly prohibits building the accessory structure before the main house, because then
Why?
people just never build the main house. Yeah, but we're actually trying to build the main house, like right now. We're trying to build it, but you're saying no. So we go in circles and circles, and they're just like, sorry, it's impossible. You cannot build another house on the property. So my dad's like, well, can we just apply for a variance? And he's like, yeah, you can, but they'll definitely deny it. And then I found a loophole. I said to him, why don't we just divide the property on paper, draw an invisible line down the middle, and then my parents can pull a permit for this property, build their main house, and when they finish, we can reassemble the properties and the treehouse becomes an accessory structure to the main house. Well,
Great.
yeah, I guess that could work, but you can't get a certificate of occupancy for your treehouse until your parents' house is finished, which means I can't live in it. Because in 2026, you need the government's permission to live in a house that you built. So we had to pay surveyors
Pay your
thousands
fair
of dollars
share.
to draw
Hey,
invisible lines
corporations.
across the property so that
Pause.
my parents can build.
Hey, big business, pay these bureaucrats. Hey, Bernie Sanders, we need more bureaucrats coming up with arbitrary fucking rules.
On the exact same property, and then when they finish, we will pay them thousands more dollars to erase the invisible lines and put the properties back together. Otherwise, I have to nearly double the size of the treehouse. So in summary, I can't live in the treehouse because it's an illegal structure and it's not big enough. But if I make it bigger, then it's okay. But also now it's too big, so now my parents can't build a house over here. But if I draw an invisible line here, then they can build a house over here. But I still have to make the treehouse bigger. Unless I erase the invisible line after my parents' house is done, then the treehouse is okay. But I still can't live in it until my parents' house is done because you can't build the accessory structure first, according to the city ordinance, even though it's already done. So I guess my wife and I will just keep living in this leaky, mold-infested camper. And what makes this even more interesting is that they tried to jack up the property tax bill this year because they claimed that the treehouse was done and that we were living.
But I can't live in it.
We also don't have a CO and we're not allowed to live in it. So which is it? Make it make sense. I'll pay the freaking increased property tax if I can just live in my stupid house. The comments are gonna say, bro, just live in it anyway. How will they know? All that being said, my hope is that when my parents actually break ground, which should be in the next couple of months, I can convince them to give me the CO and I can actually move in. I feel like that's a perfectly reasonable request. We're not trying to cheat the system.
We're
not trying to
way
work around
beyond
the rules.
reason.
We've got a main house and an accessory house.
It's
That's
like
all
when
we're
people
trying
ask me about my ankle bracelet. They're like, wait, I've seen drunk drivers, like really drunk, get away with way less. And I go, stop imposing logic on this. There's no logic involved. I haven't even been sentenced yet. I'm doing the punishment in advance to help my case, which could all be for naught because I have a violation from Nick's night where I apparently drank a normal Heineken and didn't notice. That's what the machine tells me. Here is a perfect example of why the government is evil and why you should be right-wing because you want less government. We need drainage, right? It's Seattle, it's Tacoma, it's the Pacific Northwest. It's constantly raining. It's Britain, basically. So let's make sure we have good drainage. Okay. Hi, I'm building a place in Arizona. Okay, have you ever done that before? No. Well, just copy Seattle and fucking London, England with drainage. Okay, I will. Hey, this place is a total fucking desert because it rains once a year. Why'd you drain it so much? So this professor goes, I'll just fucking saw into the curb so some of the water doesn't drain.
Arizona neighborhood was a sun-baked urban desert. But 30 years later, it's been completely transformed.
That's got to be Grok doing that, right?
Native food oasis. And they started it all by breaking the law. Because before the work, the streets were designed to wash all the precious rainwater down the drain, leaving the ground too dry for trees and plants to grow. But one community went rogue, literally cutting holes into the city curbs because they
Why do you say
knew where the
literally?
water needed to go.
I didn't think you meant metaphorically.
And we're about to meet the water harvesting legend that cracked the code for turning depleted neighborhoods into thriving ecosystems.
And walking like an
Brad.
Egyptian.
Andrew, man.
How you doing?
Great, man.
Pause. What is
my
that? That's a giant white man. That's a Viking. What are white men good at? It's not cool. It's not jazz. It's not sports. It's systems. And this guy broke the law. You cannot drill through curbs. They are city property. You can't saw into curbs. So he broke the law. And guess what the city did? Well, they went to find him just like that previous case, and then they realized, holy shit, there's plants everywhere because the water stuck around, you know, the way it's naturally supposed to. So then they started giving tax breaks to people who do the same, and now it's being implemented all over New Mexico. Did I pronounce implemented properly?
From 30 years ago. I can't believe how awesome this place looks. It's so different.
Well, we keep evolving, man. That's the whole aim. So we've actually got the rainwater tanks now passively shading and cooling.
The only way you can evolve is to reject the government, to fight the system. I love systems. I hate the system. Your system is better than the system because you genuinely care. The beast doesn't care. It's a Borg.
We've now got goats along with the chickens, and we're really diversifying the food systems. So we're bringing in native food plants that are way more adapted to our extreme heat, the drought. So the system's becoming much more resilient. But this is what I'm really excited about. This is not on our property. This is everyone's. This is public commons, public land. This is the neighborhood rain irrigated food forestry, where we're using the street to water the street trees that shade, cool the street, and feed all those living along those streets.
Anyway, that's a great video. It's worth checking out. I sent it to Ant, and I go, check out this black dude in Tucson who totally revolutionized his neighborhood and helped everyone. Sometimes black people break the rules, and it's for the greater good. And then he saw the video and went, you jerk. So this is ancient Chinese. I should have mentioned it yesterday, but it was Casual Mondays. They have some discussing vagrant on the bus, train, shitting, pissing. I don't know what she was doing. The creature pictured in the now viral Reuters photo of Patriot front aboard a train did something unspeakably gross before. So that's the picture that went viral, right? And it's a Rosa Parks thing. By the way, for the record, Rosa Parks, we all know this, right? The previous Rosa Parks they got was a foul-mouthed. It was this chick. And she's like, motherfucker ain't let me sit where I want. And I want to smoke marijuana and tell motherfuckers to give me my hooch back. And they're like, hey, we found another black lady. Okay, can we make her the lady instead? This one swears too much. Okay, but now this is I'm adding my personal angle into this. Okay, but she's Native American. She's an Indian. No problem. We'll just dress her up like a black. And they used what I consider to be a Cherokee as the icon for black transportation. Pull up Rosa Parks. Zero kink here and here. Nothing but long hair. Why do I have a headache? I haven't had a drink in a month. By the way, I was wrong. My court date is not till the end of the month.
Okay.
So I got to continue to not drink and hope that, okay, that's not a black woman. That's an Indian. Although her nose is kind of nostrily for an Indian. Am I doubting myself? Look at that old one there with the Wikipedia. Where's your afro, ma'am? Do you see curly hair anywhere in these pictures? It's barely curly. Now, I know they would straighten it with lye and all those lies back then, but that ain't no lie up in the top right there above me. That's a normal Indian woman growing out her long, straight hair. Anyway, so sorry, on the off chance you're not familiar with this, let the music play. What is she doing there? Pissing or shitting or mooning? Oops. It's like Bullywhip Dave says about the Klan. He ain't working none. He's one of the laziest we ever had. And then the Klan came in and they shipped him away, or they gave him a good ass beating and he started working after that.
So, if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.